So I've had this idea on the Feast of Trumpets, which is either September this year or it's going to be July the 1st next year, whichever. Um, to be honest, I think I'd rather something happen in the middle of the summer, but maybe the thing about what happens is actually to do with my return. But to be honest, I don't even know if the idea of me going through a suicide or a fake suicide is even the best. Like, I definitely need to go to hiding or whatever. I think I'll be safer if people think that I'm dead. But at the end of the day, it's not for me to decide that this is something. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen on the show, and it doesn't even need, might not even need to happen. I don't know. I know that whatever happens on the show is not up to me. I've given some suggestions of what could happen, but to be honest, I am going a little crazy because I'm kind of talking to songs, and some songs feel like they're talking back, and sometimes I'm just analyzing or going over the top on analyzing some songs. But anyway, the plan is that on Feast of Trumpets, you release an advert with all the celebrities dressed up as angels, and some of them are like maybe darker colored wings, and some of them have lighter colored wings, and some of them would be like, yeah, she's definitely it. She's definitely it. And like, she's here? What? And I don't know, you can have like the angels just talking, and some being like, nah, that ain't it. She ain't it. And then some being like, yes, she definitely is, and making it look like they're announcing the coming of God or a God. And I've watched a few videos of about Jezebel spirit. I love the Jezebel spirit. The Jezebel spirit sounds so much like me. Okay, it's not exactly like me because um she's supposed to be controlling, but at the same time, I do want control. I want a lot of control. Okay, part of my control is letting you think that you're the ones in control. But I feel like I have control. Why? Because I'm God and I do have control. Only I don't have control because if I had control, I wouldn't have had such a shit life. But I feel like things happen for a reason. I've had a shit life for a reason. But anyway, I'm going to try and forget about my shit life and focus on what's best for the announcement. I don't know why this didn't happen years ago. I'm really, really pissed off that it didn't, and I'm still not convinced that it needed to be this long. I know though that I trust and respect Madonna, and I believe that Madonna knows, and so I would love to ask her, why have you ignored me for this long? Like, what has convinced you enough to ignore me for this long? Because I'm pretty sure you know my name, or you've seen videos or Instagram, or I don't know what you're seeing. I don't know what people know. Maybe you've still kept my name hidden. I don't know. I just don't know. But I know she knows about me, and I know she is ignoring me, and I want to know why she is ignoring me, or why she's not talking to me. Um, but anyway, I would respect her opinion and view, and maybe I won't be as angry if she told me the reason why she's ignored me is because she's watched a bunch of channeling or whatever before people knew about me, and they were all saying like, find a girl and ignore her for 10 years. Maybe if you've got some really strong evidence such like that you need to ignore me for a certain period, then maybe I'd believe and whatever, but I don't know. All I know is that on the Feast of Trumpets, which is either it's the seventh month, the first of the seventh month, which is either in the Hebrew calendar or the English calendar, um, this advert about Big Brother needs to go on, where people are dressed up as angels talking about the coming of something. It might be God or a God, the Jezebel spirit, Babylon. Some angels could be like, yeah, she's definitely my God. And some could be like, yeah, I'm not convinced. And I don't know though, because it could be either. Like a lot of people think that there is some belief that there is some female that's given birth to everything, but she's not the one with power or whatever. So I don't know. There could be some advert that goes out where angels are just kind of giving their view, be like, I think she's got no, I think she's Babylon, but she's still the mother, but she's not the one in control or whatever. And I don't know, just a debate, something like that goes out on Feast of Trumpets, um, and then 10 days later, on the Day of Atonement. So you'll have 10 days the world will have 10 days of knowing that the Lord or Babylon or the Antichrist or something biblical is coming. They'll have 10 days to prepare. During that time, I will be known, I'll be in hiding, so I won't get to see any of the advertising that's going on. Then I'm going to go in on the 10th. And yeah, there's something about the 15th, which is when you're supposed to tabernacle. And I'm not too sure about that because tabernacling is, I don't know, maybe, I don't know how it can be. Like tabernacling is supposed to be in some sort of tent or outer house. So maybe I go into the house on the 10th day, and then go into like a separate house on the 15th day. And I don't know what will happen during that week, but maybe I get to meet celebrities or whatever. And then after the week, I go back into the normal house, and I don't know. And I've talked about the different shows, 5 different shows that I want. It shouldn't be like 2, but I'm confused though because the only Big Brother that seems to be talked about is the one that's coming to ITV, and I don't know if ITV would want to like share it. Like, would they want to have 5 shows, even if some of them are just internet shows? But would they want to share it with the internet, or would they want it all on their show, on their channel? I don't know. But yeah, I don't even know if that the one that they're preparing next year has got anything to do with me. Because technically, I want to be on a World Big Brother, and I feel like certain people know, and I don't know who knows. Um, yeah, they're coming up with a new league. I don't know. I'm following the stuff that they say. But yeah, this is how I plan it to be. So there being an announcement that God or something biblical is going to happen. Like you can have people announce, yeah, she is my mother, she is my maker, and then other people being like, nah, she's just a deceiver or whatever. And and yeah, and I don't know if people will necessarily want me dead at first. I think people might want me dead, but only when they really believe how much power I have. If they don't believe how much power I have, then I think it will be fine. Or maybe I'm just obsessing, or maybe I think that people are only going to want me dead just because that's stopping me from like just making flyers and promoting it everywhere. I don't know. I know I've lost interest in having a kid at this moment. I want to sort this out first, and then maybe. I don't even know. There's too many people in this world. I don't want to encourage people to have kids. If me having a kid is going to encourage people to have kids, then I don't want to encourage people to have kids because that's just causing me to die. I'm pretty sure that the fact that there's so many people here, I think, is the reason why God is dying and she can't cope. And I think I'm only here because she knows that the world does not want her. They want something that's just all powerful, all knowing. They want to just continue the lies and preaching the nonsense that they're preaching, and they don't actually want God. The problem is, God needs to be here because she needs to tell people to stop having unlimited number of kids, thinking that they're not damaging the planet. And you know, if the world's population is doubling every 20 years, then how the hell is this planet going to cope with 14 billion people on it in 20 years' time? How the hell is the world going to cope with 30 billion people in 40 years' time or something? It's not going to cope. It's going to run out of resources. There's not going to be things that are important. There's not going to be air because the number of trees that are going to be knocked down is going to be just horrific, and the amount of suffering is going to be huge because people aren't going to be able to afford to eat because growing things like the reason why LA is so expensive is because there's no water there. So all the food and all the crops and all the stuff has to get imported from like north parts or where there is water, and there isn't much water in LA, and it's all running out because they're cutting down the rainforest and it's not raining enough. And so, you know, problems like that are going to grow, and it's just going to cause more problems the more people there are. You know, the more people there are, okay, there's going to be more people happy, but there's also going to be more people suffering and not able to like afford food and stuff. And it's a growing problem. But yes, I can solve that by saying I'm God. That yes, yeah, I'm not the God of the Bible, although I've inspired the Bible and I have completely different telling of it, and I'd love everyone to know my tellings, and I'd love to go on to and talk about all my different tellings. Okay, no Christian's going to be happy. You know, they're worshipping the Bible. They're believing that Moses is a good guy when in reality he's not. He killed his brother. He killed his people. He killed, he's a terrible person. And okay, he was wandering the wilderness, and God said, "I'm not going to save you or your people. I'm going to let you continue wandering." But they don't seem to ask the question. Is this really a good guy if God did that? And why did God do that? And is that how has God saved them when technically they just ran away from slavery into starvation, which is kind of worse in ways. At least they had food and shelter where they were before. It's bad in both situations. Okay, it's the reality. God can't help people, but instead of them seeing that story as just evidence how God can't actually save anyone, they believe that, oh, God can, just God chooses not to. They're worshipping crap. And I want to tell people the truth. And I also want to forget about this and not have anything to do with it and just think about music. And I like music. And I want to focus on being the Jezebel spirit because I love the Jezebel spirit. And I would love people to talk about the Jezebel spirit and actually like create some sort of war. That the end of times is coming when someone comes claiming to be, the Antichrist, or when someone comes claiming to be the God, but really they just filled with the Jezebel spirit. You can make out that it's going to be Jezebel spirit's husband, or maybe Jezebel herself, whatever. I do not care. But I like the Jezebel spirit because she's everything that God is. Um, okay, a little bit more sexual than, but I love sexy music. I like being sexual. I like looking good. I don't always look good though. I don't have hairstylists to make me look good, but and I'm not very good with makeup. Like I just can't be bothered. Just like I don't want to impress people here. I hate everyone here. But at the same time, if I was on TV, I'd feel like I'd want to impress the camera. It's important to impress the camera. Um, and yeah, I'm just rambling.